Hi everyone, I'm Bee and welcome back to Read and Roam, the channel where we learn about text and how it fits into our world. I was at a bookshop earlier and I saw a poster for a story writing competition. I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely going to enter, so I was thinking while I'm writing mine, why don't I teach you to write your own story too? But before we even get into writing, let's start with the basics. What do you think makes a story clear and fun to read? Is there a pattern that stories follow? That's what we'll explore today. Stories usually follow a basic structure. We've talked about the word structure before. What do you remember? Structure refers to how something is built. So story structure refers to the way a story is built, specifically the order of events. Most stories have three main parts: the beginning, middle, and end. But what do authors write in each part? A while ago, we learned about story elements. These are the basic building blocks of a story, like characters or setting. Let's read a short story together to figure out the story elements authors often include in the beginning, middle, and end. It was springtime in the small town of Greensville. Claire was in her backyard working hard on her project for the annual science fair. This year, she was finally old enough to enter. She'd invented a pet doorbell mat that lit up a signal inside the house when pets stepped on it, so pets wouldn't have to scratch to come in. Claire had even trained her cat Milo to step on the mat. "You're going to wow the judges, Milo," she told him proudly. What information does the author give us at the beginning? We find out the story takes place in spring in a small town called Greensville. This is the setting, which is when and where a story takes place. What do you remember about settings? A setting is more than just a backdrop. It affects what characters do, how they feel, and the challenges they face. That's why authors usually describe the setting in the beginning to help readers imagine the story's world so they can better understand the characters and events. What else do we learn at the beginning? The author introduces the characters, Claire and her cat, Milo, and we learn a bit about Claire's traits. A character's external traits, like what they look like, can help us picture them, while their internal traits, like their personality, can help us understand why they do certain things. We discover that Claire is working on an invention and that she's finally old enough to enter the science fair. So what do these details tell us about Claire's traits? We can assume she's probably smart and hardworking and that she's quite young. Authors usually introduce characters in the beginning so readers get to know them and understand how they fit into the story. Not only that, these details also give readers hints about the plot. We don't know what will happen yet, but we can assume it'll have something to do with Claire and her invention. Let's move on to the middle of the story to find out. The morning of the fair arrived, and Claire had set up a table with her project in the park. She looked around nervously. What's missing? She wondered. Then she realized. Milo! She gasped. She searched behind booths, under benches, and in bushes. She knew he'd be curled up somewhere enjoying the sunshine, but she didn't have time to look for him. As families and judges made their way around the fair, Claire's heart sank. Her invention wouldn't make sense without Milo. What does the author tell us in this part? Claire is getting ready at the science fair, but she realizes that Milo has disappeared. This is the problem in the story. Do you know what this story element is called? It's the conflict, which is the problem or struggle that the main character faces. Why do you think the author has included conflict in the middle of the story? Pause the video to record your thoughts. Conflict pushes the story forward and keeps readers hooked, which is why authors often add conflict in the middle. It makes readers want to keep reading to find out how the problem will be solved. I'm curious about what Claire will do. So, let's keep reading. Just as the judges approached her table, Claire heard a meow coming from her backpack. "Milo!" Claire exclaimed. She guided him to the mat. He stepped on it, and click, a yellow light lit up. The judges smiled. A clever cat and a clever invention. Claire blushed with pride. As the day drew to a close, Claire earned a special ribbon, and Milo earned lots of treats for his participation. There's one more story element here at the end. Did you spot it? It's the resolution. This is the part where the conflict is solved, like a happy ending or conclusion. And what was the resolution in this story? Milo comes back just in time for Claire to show the judges her invention. The judges are so impressed that they even give her a ribbon and some treats for Milo. Now that we've read the story, we've seen how the beginning introduced the characters and setting, the middle gave us conflict, and the end brought us the resolution. But what would happen if one of those parts were in the wrong order or missing? Let's imagine the author removed the ending and resolution. What would happen to the story, and how would the story feel to read? Pause the video to record your thoughts. The story might feel unfinished. You might be left wondering what happened to Claire's project and if Milo ever turned up. You may even think the story doesn't make sense. That's why story structure matters. But even though we've learned about this specific structure today, it's important to know that not all stories follow the exact same pattern. In fact, story elements can appear more than once and in different places. Authors might describe a setting at the beginning, then return to it later, or even add a new one. New characters might be introduced at any point, and the conflict or resolution doesn't have to be at the end. What's important is that the parts connect and build on each other. That's what keeps readers interested and helps the story move smoothly from beginning to end. Today, we learned that authors write the beginning, middle, and end of a story with intention. They keep readers hooked by writing with structure in mind. In my next video, we'll start brainstorming story ideas. While I work on my own story for the competition, I'll show you each step so you can write your own story too. Remember, where there are words, there's a world to explore. See ya! Hey, hey.